Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Pokemon Showdown battle with the Easter Bunny team. This is a day after Easter battle. I have actually started post-commentating after midnight for this one, and so I wasn't sure about the first one, whether or not I would be able to get it up on Sunday, but I wasn't, so this is after Easter. I hope you guys don't mind. That is a day late, but better late than never, I always say. I'm using my Easter Bunny team as before, and my opponent has a Ferrothorn, Heatran, Tyranitar, Slowbro, Forretress, and Landorus. So looking at his team, I could tell is really good. It's going to be really bulky, and it's just going to be a pain to take down. But my whole goal is to make sure that Azumarill gets a belly drum up and can at least do some damage to these walls, because he is definitely going to be the only one that can touch any of these Pokemon. I don't have a lot of firepower. I have a Flamethrower in Wigglytuff, so that should be okay against Forretress or Ferrothorn if I get the opportunity. So, I mean, this is just going to be a battle of opportunity, and I'm going to try to take it the best I can. Whenever I see a chance, I'm going to jump on it. So, let's see if these chances work out for me or if they end up failing. So I lead off with Lopunny in this battle, hoping of all hopes that maybe my opponent would send out Ferrothorn or Forretress, but of course he doesn't do it. He sends out Landorus, and I'm forced to switch out because I do not want to deal with Landorus with Lopunny. So I go into my Exeggutor, and he ended up going for Hidden Power Ice, which I thought was really strange. I guess he really predicted well. And this is going to be tough because I'm up against an opponent who can predict my switches, and that's just going to be crazy. I feel like we're going to be on top of each other the whole time. I protected to scout what he was going to do next, if he was going to do a Hidden Power Ice again or something else, and he decided to U-turn, so I was hoping again that he would use U-turn again, so I switched back into Lopunny so I wouldn't have to deal with Landorus, and I could deal with whoever he decided to bring in next, which ended up being a Slowbro. So my Lopunny has Toxic. As I mentioned before, that's one of her attacks, and you didn't get to see it, I don't think. Oh, yeah, you got to see it at the end of the match last time. She's really bulky, especially defensively, so she was able to take that Psychic really well. But I knew that Slowbro had Regenerator, because that's just a really popular Slowbro these days. So I decided to switch Lopunny out because I mean, if I Circle Throw, I'm just going to end up helping that Slowbro out. So it really didn't do me much good to do that. I Leech Seeded with Exeggutor just to get a little bit more damage on that Slowbro along with Toxic, because I knew that eventually that Slowbro was going to switch out. And yeah, this is pretty much the reason why I'm kind of dancing around the Slowbros, because I knew that his health was going to regenerate anyway. So I brought in Exeggutor, who is very annoying on its own. Because of Harvest and a Citrus Berry, and so he has a lot of lasting power and can just tick the opponent off. So he decided to switch out Slowbro and bring in Forretress, who I can't really touch, so I decided to switch Exeggutor out again and into Lopunny once again, so I could maybe stop Forretress in its tracks by giving it an Assault Vest and pretty much making it useless. I know that Forretress carries like Volt Switch and stuff like that, but I'm not really worried about that on this team. If it uses Volt Switch, I can just bring in Diggersby and it'll be forced to switch out. But he probably, I don't even know what he predicted. He brought Landorus back in. He probably knew that I didn't want to deal with Landorus with Lopunny, but I ended up staying in with Lopunny anyway. And I was fortunately faster than that Landorus, which I was not expecting at all, but I don't really know how fast Landorus is. I know Thundurus and Tornadus are pretty fast, so I took advantage of the fact that I was faster than this Landorus by encoring it into Hidden Power Ice, so I can bring in Azumarill after sacking Lopunny, who did so well in the first match, and I felt really bad about sacking her first. But he can't really hit Azumarill very hard, and I knew he was going to switch out, so I ended up double switching myself. And I knew he was going to send in Ferrothorn too, because that Pokemon is going to be the hardest one for Azumarill to deal with. I bring in Wigglytuff because I knew Ferrothorn was going to come in, and I wanted to hit it with a flamethrower, which I know he didn't know about. So I fortunately got a burn off, which was extra awesome. I don't know if Gyro Ball would take Wigglytuff out even without the burn, but that burn is just handy dandy, and I was really happy that it happened. So I ended up switching Wigglytuff out into Diggersby. I didn't know if Ferrothorn was going to switch out or stay in, but he switched out also and into Heatran, which ended up being a really good switch on my part. But the thing is, he switches just as much as I do, so I should have known that he was going to switch out again into Landorus to take an Earthquake, which of course he's immune to. So since my Diggersby is scarfed, I end up having to switch out because I'm not going to stick myself in Earthquake against a Landorus when I already have one Pokemon down. So I went back into Exeggutor, and I ended up sacking it, oh my god, with by a U-turn from Landorus. So I'm 2 Pokemon down against all 6 of his, and his 6 Pokemon are really strong. So I am losing constantly these opportunities to set up my Azumarill and maybe give myself a chance. I bring in Maractus after I see that he brings in Slowbro, and I start doing damage to it because it's toxic, and Maractus is really one of my only hopes against this Slowbro. Maractus is surprisingly bulky against super effective attacks. She is a survivor, I am telling you what. But she ends up switching out, and so does that Slowbro. I knew that Slowbro was going to switch out and take advantage of Regenerator if that Giga Drain didn't take it out, and that Slowbro probably has an Assault Vest. I'm pretty sure, maybe, I don't know. It's a pretty good, it's a really good Assault Vest Pokemon. I can vouch for that. But he switches in Heatran while I switch in my Azumarill, and I finally get the freaking opportunity to set off that belly drum, and it scares that Heatran out, and he brings in Slowbro, who actually takes a good chunk of damage out to Aqua Jet. And so another attack on Slowbro will be able to take it out unless he, of course, switches out into something else, which would be really not that smart of a move. So he decides to let Slowbro faint, which was a good idea on his part. And he brings in Forretress, and I'm expecting a Volt Switch, but I'm not too worried about it because Forretress's special attack is not that high, on top of the fact that it's not stab. So I'm not so worried about that Volt Switch. But I am curious to know who he's bringing in, and he ended up bringing in Landorus, and I'm like, yes, perfect, because Landorus is the number 2 problem child in this battle. So I ended up taking it out with an Aqua Jet, and I'm kind of surprised that he is just saving his Tyranitar for later. I don't understand. Maybe he was just kind of flustered and trying to figure out what can take out this Azumarill, but that Tyranitar in the wings could have really done a lot of damage just based on Sandstorm alone. So he finally brings in Tyranitar and sets up his Sandstorm. But my Aqua Jet, of course, takes it out as well, since I am at ×4 attack, which is just crazy. This Azumarill is awesome. But I'm still at really low health now, so I can only take a couple more hits from Sandstorm and then I'm out. But a couple of hits is all I really need to take out his whole team. But I also remember that Heatran has Protect, and I'm pretty sure he's going to use Protect against me. But I'm not going to switch out because there really is no point at this point. And I just said point twice, but that's okay. He ends up going for Protect so that Sandstorm can knock Azumarill out. And so Azumarill, of course, takes Sandstorm damage and goes down, but not after he completely wreaked, quote, my opponent's team. So yeah, I bring in Diggersby, and unless Heatran can get a Protect off again, it's not gonna even have a chance of surviving. I don't know. If he maybe got however many Protects it is to PP stall this Diggersby's Earthquake, it would have been pretty awesome, but it didn't happen, and I ended up winning this match. Thanks to finally getting that opportunity to set up Azumarill. This is one thing that I've really learned in battling is if you have an opportunity, you need to take it, and you need to know, you need to pay attention to your opponent's team and know when they're going to switch, and keep an eye on their patterns as well. I kind of have a funky pattern, but and it usually costs me games, but it's still really fun to kind of play the revolving door. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this battle, and if you did, please leave a comment and a like rating. Also, if you would like to, check out gamersbench.com, where we review and play through games that you may enjoy yourself. And also check out my Twitter page. It is in the link, or in a link in the description. I'm just completely screwing up. Just look in the description. It's there, and you can check out my Twitter page. So I hope you guys enjoyed this battle, and I'll catch y'all next time. Thanks for watching.